Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a video about how to avoid getting an eating disorder or how to avoid having a disordered view of food. I recently saw an interview and it was just, I don't know, it just ruffled my feathers because they were encouraging disordered eating and they were encouraging having, cheat days, and they were encouraging all these negative things that when you really think about it, direct people into having a disordered way of looking at food and having a really bad relationship with food and it really got me upset and annoyed because it was because of those exact things that got me down the path that I've gone through with disordered eating and having a bad relationship with food because of people who broadcast this and glorify, having cheat days and restricting everything in the world and only having a specific day to eat those specific foods. And when you really think about it, it gives you a disordered way of thinking, and it gives you a disordered way of associating different foods with good and bad, and it associates with having a bad relationship with food. And I'm going to give you a few tips on how to not go down that road and how to not allow that lie of having good food and bad food and eating excess of sugar is going to rise in your insulin levels and make you gain fat. It doesn't make any type of sense. I mean, you need to stop believing that, and you need to stop following the path of the people who tell you that it's okay to have that view of food and to have certain days to eat certain foods, because it's not okay, And coming from someone who has dealt with an eating disorder and has dealt with bulimia and has dealt with deeming food as bad and good, and I can't have that because there's X amount of sugar, I can't have that because too many carbs, and I can't have that because it tastes good, and I have to only eat broccoli and lettuce and rice and drink water only, and I can't have any Diet Coke, and I can't have any candy, and blah blah blah. Coming from that, I'm speaking my truth, and I'm trying to help you not go down that road as well. So the first thing that you need to do is just not restrict yourself. You can't restrict yourself from things, and you can't deem food as good or bad because it will bring you down this road. You can't think that broccoli is okay, but look at Laffy Taffies or bananas and whatever as no, that's too much. No, that has too much sugar, I can't eat that. How can you not eat a fruit? That's just because it has sugar. You can eat a banana or fruits or any other fruit that has high sugar because of the sugar. You can't eat any sugar. That doesn't make any type of sense. How do you not see that as disordered thinking, and how do you not see that as a relationship that's negative? Why are you deeming food as good or bad because of the contents that are in it? That doesn't make any type of sense to me, and it just you just need to stop associating good and bad food because of sugar or because of it being candy, or it being fast food, or it being anything that's considered bad. Why associate it with you can't eat it, or you can only eat it if you have a cheat day? Why can't you incorporate all these foods and have an 80-20 rule? 80% great foods, nutritious foods that are fueling you, and 20% fun foods. Why can't you have that way of thinking and that way of navigating food? And it took a while for me to have that 80-20 rule, because it was either I'm eating all good or I'm eating all bad, and you need to have a balance. You can't have cheat days, you can't have binge episodes because of the restricting that you're doing over your body. You can't have that, and I want to free you from that, or keep you away from going through that, because that's a really terrible cycle, and I don't wish that on nobody. So you have to stop deeming food as either good or bad. Just think of it as more nutritious and less nutritious. Yes, you can eat McDonald's, and yes, you can eat candy, and yes, you can eat bananas, and yes, you can have all of these foods that aren't really nutritious for you, but not in excess. It's okay to have these foods, but don't overindulge. Don't go all out on a crazy binge and call it a cheat day because you've been so good for the whole week, and I was eating my lettuce, and I was drinking my water, and I was doing all this stuff, following this plan, this good food plan, and then you go on a whole entire cheat day eating all this bad food. And that doesn't make any type of sense. Why can't you eat all of all the food that you're eating on that cheat day and break it up and incorporate it into your week so that you don't have to go on a big rampage and have a cheat day? Does that make sense? Sometimes it's inevitable. You are going to overeat. You are going to overeat by 200 calories, 300 calories, and sometimes you're going to overeat by 1,000 calories. It's okay. You just need to be better on yourself, and you need to not be so hard on yourself when you do that, because when you do that, you punish yourself for doing that. And that also is a very disordered way of eating and thinking and having with food. And it's okay that you overeat. Some days you're going to overeat. You just use that food that you ate that day and use it for a really good killer workout for the next day. It's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. It's okay. And if you are trying to lose weight and you're following a rigid structural eating nutrition plan, don't be so hard on yourself if you overeat on a certain day. Don't cut food from your calories the next day. That's another disordered way of eating. Don't starve yourself the next day because you overate yesterday. Forget about yesterday. Focus on today. Forget about what happened last week or how bad you ate last week or how bad you ate the past couple days. It's okay. Forget about the past and keep on moving towards the future. You're not going to grow unless you look forward, and use the excess in calories and use it for your next workout. Use it as energy. Don't starve yourself. Don't over exercise. Don't throw it up. Don't take a laxative or whatever. Don't do that. Just forget about it and move on from it. Just go back to your plan and keep on. And what you can do to not go on a binging cycle on foods that you were restricting, don't restrict. And then I know it's going to be really hard. It's really hard at first, but if you do it, you won't have to deal with the binging. You won't have to deal with eating your feelings on all the foods that you were depriving yourself of. And it's so important to not have those crazy cheat days of eating everything and anything that you were restricting yourself off of and setting it for a specific day. Like, why can't you incorporate candy and chocolates and cereal and sugary things into your daily nutrition, and use that extra sugar that you're using into it and just burn it off? Go on a run, go be extra active that day. Just use it, and don't be hard on yourself because you had a piece of chocolate or you had a bite of a donut or you had a whole donut. Don't be so hard on yourself. And I guarantee you, because I've lived it and I've experienced it, when you do start incorporating foods, like the fun foods, into your normal daily routine, you will see and you will feel better about the foods that you're eating. And you'll feel better that, like, oh, it's only a little bit of chocolate. It's fine. It's all calories in and calories out. It's also not all or nothing. It's not about like, oh, I'm going to eat all healthy, and if I mess up and I eat one M&M, I'm going to like derail myself and just like go all out. It's not about that. It's okay. Be nicer to yourself and just let it go. Forget about it. And don't be so hard on yourself. And don't try to burn it off by over-exercising or just starving yourself simply because you had that fun food. It's going to be hard at first, and it's going to take a while for you to get used to, but you can do it. If I've done it, you can do it as well, and it's going to be better after a while. You have to break that feeling of being uncomfortable in order to be free from this, because that is an internal like prison that you're like, no, I can't have that certain food because I'm gonna blow up and get fat. You will retain water if you eat excess salt. That's like inevitable, but drink your water and flush it out. It's not that big of a deal. Another thing, don't constantly weigh yourself, especially after you eat or the next day after you had fast food, or if you had something that was really salty. Of course you're gonna be weighing more. Of course, you're retaining water, or you had an excess amount of calories by like 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 1,000 calories. You're gonna be retaining water. No, you did not gain fat. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be kinder to yourself. Don't restrict things, and allow yourself to enjoy life. Are you really gonna think about that cookie that you didn't eat 30 years from now? Come on now. Don't be so hard on yourself. Enjoy life. Enjoy these foods that you're restricting, and don't be so hard on yourself. I just had to let that out because I was just like letting that like bubble up in my system, and I was just getting angry, and I just had to share my testimony, and I just had to share the freedom that you can be free from this prison, and you can avoid being in this prison by simply doing these little things, like these little tactics and these little habits. They build seeds of doubt, and they build seeds of fear, and they build seeds of you know, self-sabotage and insecurity. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I eat this, I'm gonna get fat. No. Like, don't allow these little things to get in your way. Be free, and don't be stuck in a prison of a restricted way of looking at food. Just have fun and use food as fuel. That's what it is. Because when you really think about it, all carbs turn into sugar. So that argument that sugar is bad for you, all carbs that you eat turn into sugar. Use that sugar as energy. It's okay. It is okay. I thank you guys for watching. I pray that I've helped you, and I've helped you to stay away from that prison, or I've helped you to kind of break the shackles off of your feet from this prison that you're in. I hope that this video serves you well, and I pray that you have a great day. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video, and I'll see you in the next